estate there. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know who owned it. Maybe that's how Larry started. He really did get there to see on. Wow.
Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with a moment of silence. Roll call.
Abbott.
Here.
Ogdenwald.
Here.
Beers.
Here.
Deeds.
On the phone.
On the phone.
Gelfen.
Here.
Jackson. Malika.
Here.
Whitaker. Sullivan.
Here.
Reesinger.
Here. Announcement, tire collection on October 1st. Zach, you want to
Yeah, so on
speak
our
to that?
regular garbage day, the first Wednesday of the month, October 1st, this coming month, we signed up to do tire collection through the county. So we're going to be doing it there from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the city garage. That's city and township residents combined. 4 tires per household is what we're allowed. So if you got some old tires laying around, need to get rid of them instead of dumping them somewhere, bring them down, no fee to recycle them.
Good, thank you. Lien disclosure. Ben, you want to hit that?
Yes, briefly, I just wanted to let the city board know that there is the board know that there's a property on Wayne that has been blighted and dilapidated. We placed liens against it in the amount of $12,595 for water and sewer collection. And there is a developer who is interested in buying it and negotiated with us to drop that down to $8,000. It's a great benefit, of course, to the future city to have that property back in the tax rolls and have at least part of the lien satisfied. So I just wanted to disclose that we're planning on moving forward with that negotiation, so settling for $8,000.
Do we need a motion to vote on that?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Lisa, you want to go over community days?
Yes,
Please.
thank you.
Mostly because I can't say that word.
Community Days, along with the 250th birthday celebration, along with Consolidation celebration, is scheduled for June 12th and 13th in the city park. And there is a group of people working really hard to make it an epic celebration. So we just wanted to let the board know about that event and have a save the date.
Is that along with the fireman's parade and community days and everything?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Public comment on agenda items. Dave Lombardo. And if you could step up to the microphone and speak loudly, please.
Yeah, I just have a comment and some questions on bid acceptance of banking. I guess that's next year proposal. The one you had there, is that the one you're going to vote on to accept? I guess was the first main
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
I'll speak more to that. We did get 7 proposals and rank ordered them, and that was the one that the committee recommended.
Okay, so that is the recommendation and stuff. So then I guess the question would be, then did this one give us the best interest rate? You were having like 3.45%.
Yes.
And the lowest fees. Didn't look like there was a lot of fees.
They waived a lot of fees.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
There was, so this was the best overall,
I thought so.
the whole thing. And then there's some specifics. It kind of helps me know what we're doing with our money. Are there other fees? A lot of these banks have brokerage. If you buy T-bills or CDs, they'll do that for us. Are they going to charge us for those? Those fees weren't in there.
I don't think that's a question we asked.
A lot of the banks do,
Yeah. We didn't ask that question.
so you don't know.
We do not know.
So
Yeah.
be something you should ask them before you sign.
Yeah.
Because they can be,
City's not in a position to buy T-bills right now.
You can get short ones. You can, then the other thing is, you know, we got a lot of money in these accounts. Are we, by regulation, law, or anything, limited to the 250,000 FDIC? I don't know if the money market, the 3.45, is FDIC, and does it go through, and do they, like, pull the money out when you get so much and put it in different other accounts to be protected?
Lisa can answer that.
That's one of the reasons we asked for sweep accounts, so that we could protect the FDIC, but also government funds are regulated differently, so the FDIC rules are not the same for government. There is other ways of collateralizing the funds so that they're protected.
Okay, so we're doing that so they are protected if the bank goes bad or something goes bad in there, that
That's correct.
we have the protection. Okay, that's all I had. But I would strongly suggest you ask them about fees for CDs or whatever. You can get real short-term ones.
Music Fest 2025 report. Denny? I know, oh, there you are.
Hello, I'm Denny Scrubba, and I headed Music Fest, our concerts in the park, for this 2025 season. I didn't print off a whole bunch of these. I didn't realize I was going to have this many guys or gals here. But anyhow, I just want to run over this real quick, and I'll give you a couple copies if you want to look at them, okay? I had 9 concerts booked this year. Unfortunately, the very first one on June the 19th was canceled because of the weather. So we did have 8 concerts, and last year it budgeted $8,000 for these concerts. So with the first concert being canceled, we were actually $1,324.60 under the $8,000 budgeted, okay? Had we had all the concerts, I still would have been under by about $434.60. So I want to thank council at this time for budgeting the money for these concerts. I also want to ask them, I got late last year, I think I came in November or December over Third Ward Hose Company and asked for an extra $1,000, which I was too late to get into the budget, so I thought I'd come early this year. So if you were working on the budget, hopefully you would be able to allot another $1,000 and make it 9. Everything is going up. I had Wallace Audio, when I used them, they're requesting an increase also. So every year, you know, things are increasing. So I want to make that proposal and ask you for an extra $1,000 to make it 9 for next year. I want to thank you.
No, thank you for doing all that work.
You know, and I really appreciate it. And if you're, we're going to do them again next year, I'm on board if you want me to take care of it. So thank you very much, and I know I'll be working with a bunch of people next year. So,
Danny, and I heard good things about the concerts. Thank you. I appreciate your hard work for that.
you're welcome.
Denny, in driving by, I see a lot of those were well attended. Can you put a number to how many people you think attended concerts?
Not really. I mean, I never went around and really counted them or tried to get a rough draft. Naturally, you know,
But it
say
looked-
you have the Du Bois Area Community Band, okay? Of course, when I was in high school, I played in that band, you know, in the high school band and stuff. So I thought we really had a nice response as far as people being there for that concert. But depending on what's going on in the area, you know, and I know there's been other concerts going on out of town. There's another town down the road that has Thursday night concerts also. So it's a possibility, you know, they're 20 miles away. Some of our people maybe went down there if they, you know, had a schedule and knew who was playing down there. So,
It looked like there were hundreds of people in lawn chairs out in the,
oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, there's quite a few. In our last concert, I brought in a group from Ohio, and they played a lot of 60s, 70s, some early 80s stuff. I kind of spread my wings a little bit on that one and spent a little bit more money just to have like a grand finale and do something a little different, and it was very well attended. But also, once again, I thought the one the town that was having the concerts on the same night had like a Beach Boys thing, and there was a lot of people down there, so it probably drew away from ours, but we did have one heck of a crowd. So,
Good. Thank you, Denny.
all right, thanks again, I appreciate it.
We're going to do the consent agenda, and we are going to vote all the way down to here, I believe, on the consent agenda. Am I correct? So we're going to vote on the consent agenda from joint board meetings of August 20th, 2025, onto the second page, all the way down to city.
Proclamation, which there are no proclamations.
You want to give these people a chance to report, don't you?
Yes, so we're going to go down to Penvest. So can we have a motion on that?
So move.
Second?
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. We're going to do departmental reports. IT, I didn't see Matt here. Okay. Scott, anything?
Probably biggest thing is we're in the process of shifting the St. Township crew to the city garage right now, and moving equipment around, so everybody be starting at the same location. And so that's going to take the rest of this week and probably into parts of next week.
Okay. Any, can you give us any kind of report on the waterfall, the top of the waterfall?
No, I mean, we're set to start rebuilding it, not as a waterfall, as a rock wall,
As a
to
rock wall.
stabilize the bank. The engineer agreed with what we were gonna do and thought it would be,
Just pretty
you know,
much
the
just
best.
stepping
It'd be
it
like
back.
it looked like a set of steps, so it falls to the backside.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
we won't be starting that for a few weeks yet. We still have a lot of summer stuff to get caught up on.
Okay. Summer crew done?
So, we have 2 kids still hanging on, trying to keep up with some stuff, even though it hasn't rained a lot of weeds growing up everywhere, especially in the cemetery.
Weeds don't need water.
No, so, yeah, they're staying busy, and you asked about the reservoir, we're floating around 19 inches below the spillway, which is really good.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
as dry as it's been compared, I
Yes.
remember that one year. it was
That
30,
wet spring
40,
really helps
45
feeds the springs, and the reservoir's doing really good.
inches.
Okay. Planning, zoning, and code, Zach?
Going good. Like Scott said, the weeds are growing all over, so that's the only thing we're sending notices out for. Been busy with a lot of planning and zoning stuff, so.
Okay. Chief, anything on the township or city police?
Just both departments are busy, doing a really good job. Both departments are working still out of the same township building. We get a lot of the public, we catch them roaming around the city building. They're just walking in the, whatever door's open and looking for somebody.
Somebody, sure.
So, yeah, the public still isn't aware of that. But I'm hoping within the next month that the PD will be done and we'll be able to move everybody.
I heard it was pretty close to being
to the
finished.
city building. Yeah, they're making good progress on it. The floors are getting finished up. Locker room might be down the road, but we can still operate out of there. Just one other thing, wanted to give recognition to Officer Gil Barker. He just completed his 25th year at Salem Township, so I wanted to recognize him for that.
Nice, great. Okay, thank you. Police or fire departments?
This is the first month we submitted a joint fire run report, both the city and the township on the same report, so you can get an idea of how busy you are through the month. Format is subject to change. This is the first time we've done it, so it may look a little different here in the coming months, but we'll figure it out. But, yeah, things are moving along nicely.
Working well together then?
Yes.
Thank you, that's great.
I'd like to appreciate the men and women of both departments, city and township, the coming together and working together. I mean, it's been phenomenal over the course of the last year, so
Yeah.
we'll keep that moving strong forward into the new city.
Perfect, thank you. Correspondence. Event street closure on South Yard.
I'll take all the correspondence briefly. Yep, just announcing to the board that there's a street closure on South Yard for the DDI Fall Festival. YMCA submitted a final report on the summer program. It was well attended and well run. We appreciate them. The consent to assignment. So CS McKee, who handles the city's pension, their parent company was acquired by another company, and they have to disclose that that happened. And by not responding to them, we're consenting to that. I've worked with these folks for years, no concerns. So our opinion is to just let it go. I'm going to skip down to the Act 537 resolutions briefly and then turn it over to Scott for a quick update on the Green Light Go. As part of the PUC deregulation and consolidation of the township and the city, we had to revise the Act 537 through a special study. Washington Township and Falls Creek Borough were affected by that, and so they had to acknowledge via resolution that the special study happened, that they don't really have any comment. We also had to take public comment. That period was open and has already closed, and we confirmed that no one complained or had any comments. And then Sandy Township and, weirdly, the current city of Du Bois have to acknowledge the same thing. Even though you guys are the actors that are consolidating, you still have to apparently acknowledge that you are. So there's resolutions corresponding resolutions later on the agenda for each of you entities. So that's, I just wanted to thank, by the way, the borough and township for their speedy response on that. I believe they had to schedule special meetings in order to meet our deadline, so I'm just appreciative to those entities for doing that. Scott, you want to give an update on Green Light Go?
Yeah, in the Green Light Go, the township light at Schaefer Road and Maple Avenue is up, functional. There's a few things on the checklist that need to be taken care of, and it'll happen over the next couple of weeks. They're finishing up the concrete sidewalks and the handicap ramps for that intersection, so concrete work should be done by the first of next week. The Du Bois intersection at Brady Street and Park Avenue, Penelec actually turned the power on with the service up for the new traffic signal today, so they'll have to go through a whole bunch of programming and stuff like that over the next couple of weeks. So probably within the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, it should all be wrapped up.
Anything else we need to go through here? All done?
I think we're good. Township, Mark, could you bring up the MMO and Lisa speak to that?
Revised 26 Sandy Police Pension MMO. Lisa?
Yes, that MMO came in, I'm sorry, I didn't pull it up on my computer and I'm trying to run the meeting. That MMO came in at they revised it to about 100,000 less than we had approved at the August meeting. And the reason is because they had a market adjustment and someone retired, left the plan.
This is favorable.
Yes. It was 228,000 and they revised it to 132,000.
That's like nothing. Yeah.
You do have to vote on it.
Sandy does.
Sandy does, yes. Okay.
So is that a resolution?
It is a requirement by the pension plan law that
Okay.
that it has to come before the board.
A motion to accept and file is what we're looking for from the township.
Yes.
Looking for a motion to accept and file the revised 2026 Sandy Police Pension MMO.
So move.
Second?
Properly moved and second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back to you, Pat.
Did you do both of those?
They're the same.
They're
The same, okay. New business, joint committee. RACP reallocation. Ben?
All right, the city currently has 3 active RACPs that I want to talk about tonight. So that's the big capital grant program. The first is for $2.5 million, and that is for the Municipal Services and Emergency Services Building, AKA City Hall. The bulk of that, the vast majority of that, is going towards the expansion of that building. Now, almost all of it is going to be used, and this will tie into the next topic, the City Hall resurfacing. So I'll talk about these jointly. The paving around the building has kind of been wrecked by all the construction. We expected that, of course. Nevertheless, the original estimates and plan did not afford much margin except for patching. And so we took a look at it and realized that we had margin left over in that $2.5 million grant to potentially actually resurface it. Probably not afford to re-engineer it and make sure that it all works correctly, but we probably have enough that we could resurface it. That would be a change order. Normally, I would just get the quotes, I'd bring it to the next board meeting, and we would, get you to approve a change order at that meeting. Unfortunately, due to the fact that weather is changing and we're not going to be able to pave stuff here in a matter of weeks, I'm wondering if the board would be open to the idea of pre-authorizing, probably me, to sign off on a change order to resurface. So rather than just patching it, actually resurface. If not, we'll just patch it this fall, and in the spring, maybe you could reevaluate it. But now let me go back to whatever is left over there. We would like to roll over to increase the second RACP that I'm going to talk about. That is for $900,000, and it's specifically for an emergency services building. The original intent of it was to build a new fire station in front of Showers Field. So maybe we'll be left with, I don't know, $100,000, let's say, in that first RACP that I mentioned. The second one is $900,000, so maybe we have $1 million to play with there. That, by the way, has to be matched. So 50-50. So if we're going to spend $1 million, if the grant is $1 million, then we have to spend $1 million. In addition to that, there's a third RACP out there, and that is for a recreation purpose. I believe the original intent of that was to build another ball field. We don't have any match for that. There's no way that we can conceivably see to build that right now. And so what I raised with the fire subcommittee, then to the fire task force, and now is coming to you, is the idea of requesting the legislators support the idea of taking that $1 million for the potential ball field and reallocate it towards building a new fire station. So at that point, we would then have $2 million of RACP money available to build probably 2 new stations. And again, that has to be matched with $2 million in local funds. So it is the recommendation of the unanimous recommendation, I believe, of the fire subcommittee, then the fire task force, to have this board pursue the idea. And the reason that I raise it now without a resolution is because it takes a lot of effort on our part to modify the project management proposals and get everything lined up. It will take conservatively dozens of hours in order to do that. And we're kind of against the clock. Because these projects have gotten kicked down the road year after year, we have to allocate this by December 10th or it will go away. So between now and December 10th, we need to draft up all these proposals. And so what I can't have is we spend lots of hours on this and then November, you guys change your mind and say, no, we don't, we want to continue on with building a ball field, or we want to have, 2 new stations, but, in different locations. But unfortunately, here in the very near future, I need a decision as to, is it okay to take the task force recommendation and move forward with consolidating all of those RACPs and rebuilding Oklahoma Station and building a new North Point Station? So with that, I guess it's a two-part question. Number one, what process does this board want to go through to make that decision? And second of all, if it's acceptable, then we could just kind of make a motion tonight to move forward with that plan. Again, this is not a very formal motion, but I do want to get a sense of yes or no. Does this board want to move forward with the plan of A, reallocating those funds, and B, rebuilding Oklahoma and building North Point? With that, I open it up for discussion.
Question. On the, if you go and redo the recap, or the RCAP, will it start over them?
No.
Time period?
No, we have to file the RACP. Then you have plenty of years to actually build, but we can't redo the PMP once it's filed. Well, you can, but not past that deadline. So that's unfortunately why we had to make a decision, I would say, by the next meeting at the latest, really.
Yeah, I have some questions about Oklahoma. I don't understand why you're working on with an old building and doing something with it. Why wasn't it considered that you just go over to Treasure Lake along 255 and build one big one, move Oklahoma to there, because they're only a mile apart, 2 miles apart, you know, and build a new one over there, because you're going to end up building one at Treasure Lake over there anyways. And I also have a concern about inside of Treasure Lake. You know, it's with big trucks and big tankers, it's a half hour to get to some of those places at the lake. Was there any consideration to put in a small 1,000 square foot fire hall with a pumper tanker and a pickup truck, just to serve those? And I'm just asking, you know, your thoughts.
So when it comes to response time, all the traffic lights between where Oklahoma is and where North Point is, no matter where you build, you're going to delay that response time from the men and women that are responding to those calls. So building a unified station somewhere up on 255, virtually, it can happen, but the response times will just, you'll never get anything out. So,
Okay.
like, that's why, you know, looking at the fire study, and the fire study recommended these things to happen, and then, you know, we took that under advisement in the fire subcommittee, and, you know, they're unanimously voted on, you know, those two projects being the top two priority projects to move forward with, and then the task force as well, we had really good discussion on that, and again, the same thing, you know, those two projects are the priority projects, going off of some of what the fire study had recommended as well.
Okay. And about a little station inside the lake? Was that discussed?
There was some discussion on that, yes,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it's still,
I know you can't give 5-minute service to everybody, but
yeah.
I'm concerned about some of the people that live.
There's a very small number of members that live inside Treasure Lake.
Yeah, I heard 14 between the two fire departments. Is that right?
It's lower than that, from my understanding.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, it's just a recommendation from us to you all.
Yeah.
You all get to make that decision on where you want that to
Oh,
happen.
yeah, but I value your opinion.
But, I mean, we can look into it further for sure. I mean,
Okay.
Well, the proposed new North Point was like right outside the gate
yeah, it's up.
versus where it is now. The thought was some people were having trouble getting through the gate quickly, so more people could
So
get
it's
through.
better if it's outside.
Yeah, and then walk
Okay.
up on the truck and head from there.
Okay.
May I say something?
I got another question.
You can address it at the end. You're up for the end. You can put that on. Okay, I'll let that.
You good with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
My question is like you brought up, I think we need to still look at, I know there was a study done, but we still need to look at combining some more stations to make it efficient, because we are still looking at a tax structure that is out there, and I'll bring that up in my comments later, that I don't see it feasible building 2 stations on that side for 2 separate companies, when we got 5 companies coming together under one, and it's gonna be put on the back burner. That's gonna be more efficient than these 2 being built at this time. and there was nothing being said. I feel it was slighted, because I never even heard nothing about Oklahoma being built. It was only being told to our representative, brought it back, that it was North Point. And I even said about that there should be more thought to combine a couple more stations. We're not special that we need all these stations. We need to get more efficient for our taxpayers. And we've got to take the politics out of this. And the response time, I'm a firefighter. Been one for 36 years. They still have to go. If that's the justification for a response time, we shouldn't even put one out by Treasure Lake then. We should put it out by the mall. If it's concerned about the stoplights. We're not a big metropolis here. You go down around the city of Pittsburgh and that, they have to go through more stoplights than we do.
Yeah, St. Mary's has 2 stations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you look at Punxsutawney, Punxsutawney's pretty similar to us. They only have 3 stations. We need to look at this.
What do you think about volunteers where it is?
We talked.
I mean, that's a
before.
ladder. The ladder needs to be,
Well, we have another ladder too, Pat.
yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
Before is putting one over at 73, combining them over there and keeping one on over by the hospital. Then that way you have, it's sufficient. You got one on the other side of the tracks and one on this side of the tracks. There's
Okay.
one close to your hospital.
One, yeah.
The same. I think it needs to look at, I don't want to lose the money, but we got to be more cost efficient here because we got a big budget coming. And we need to look at that.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that more down the road here, but that's all I'm asking my fellow elected officials. We got elected for this consolidation to make this more efficient for our people, not just keep spending. And there's a lot of unknowns yet that we don't know.
You have to specify which fire stations it is? Or can you just allocate it for fire stations?
We will need to actually identify a site. And so, like an address, a parcel number. So by, let's say, the October work session, I would need an address that this board endorses.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Bill. The issue is the timing. The shovel-ready projects that we have, that we can get ready in the time frame to keep these grants is short, and we don't even have land designated to put a new station that's for the 5 that are gonna combine. And if we toss this money down the drain now, it puts us at a disadvantage to getting future RACP grants, since we wasted these ones.
Best chance.
So that's just another thing to consider, is that.
Well, the thing is, Elliot, just getting back to, I understand, we're on a short time frame, but it was never designated because nobody wanted to touch this topic about 5 going into 1 to move forward. And you can ask Chief Kelsey, we've had meetings, and we got another meeting coming this Thursday to talk, and it's like nobody knew the direction because we didn't know where the money's coming from. And we still don't know where the rest of the money's coming from.
Yeah, we don't know where the $2 million
So,
is coming
so
from.
we're, how can we move forward, with this? And here's the other thing is we gotta replace apparatus, and nothing's being said about that. And that's millions of dollars. So, we gotta look at this hard.
By the way, one other strategy that you could employ would be to intentionally turn the money back to the state and then say, we're going to reapply, like, please earmark it. There's no guarantee. I don't know if it's looked upon favorably or not. I've asked a lot of people, and no one can give me an answer as to whether that's a good strategy or not. It's certainly no guarantee, but, I think it certainly would be better to send a letter back to the state now saying we're turning this money back, but we're reapplying to restart the timeline. Ideally with a complete plan for all of the stations that we're going to be pursuing in the future. I would rather do that than just let it expire in December.
Would
So-
that be through Liger Home?
We would, no, it's the Office of Budget, so it's under the governor.
Well, could he help us?
Oh, yeah, the legislators would surely help message that appropriately, sure.
Do you have any plans to come up with the other $2 million of the match?
Yeah, so one thing that I believe I brought up in the last meeting as an idea was that Sandy Township has to float a bond in order to, or refinance a bond that's currently for the municipal authority in about the range of like $3.4 million. Particularly since Sandy residents are the ones that are seeing the 3.7% increase over their year-over-year tax bill. If they encumbered some debt now, then essentially they would be the ones getting the benefit from that. So I viewed that as, a bit of an offset. So my recommendation, if you want to move forward with reallocating the RACB money, would be that Sandy Township be the one that include it in their bond.
So we would borrow $2 million to build firehouses.
That's, yes. If that's the way you want to go.
How much of the $1.5 million of the DuBois Fire Department could we allocate for this project?
It's a question for City Council. I mean, if you allocated that money towards building fire stations, then you wouldn't be able to buy your ladder truck.
Well, we'd have to look for grants for the ladder truck. Okay.
I think what, I'd like to make the motion.
Did you have something to say?
Ben's looking at to do a bond again. I think we need to have a good plan in place and not patch this together and look at, because we need to replace more than just a ladder truck. I'll tell you that right now. We need to replace several tankers and a couple inlets. So you're gonna talk several $1 million. So I feel, I'll make the motion that we send a letter to the state asking that if we put that back, then we get it back and we will have a good plan in place with the new elected officials moving forward to give us some time.
I think that's pretty risky, given the fact that we don't have a state budget right now. There's no guarantee of getting it back.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
What was the motion?
Yes, I believe the motion is to send a letter to the governor's office rescinding the $900,000 and requesting that that be considered when we go and reapply for a full-blown plan.
Yes.
Not hearing a second. Motion dies. Do you have something to add, Jason?
Yeah, I just,
Yeah, Chief Runyon?
yeah. So just the 2 points that
And
Bill
I'm just
brought up.
asking questions because I'm being asked questions.
Yeah, no, I
You know, it's
appreciate the
just-
fact that you're asking
yeah.
questions, but two of the points that Bill brought up, I'd like to touch on. The one that he brought up with the cities out of Pittsburgh running, and they go through multiple red lights, also those are in-house paid companies.
That's
So,
not true.
they can get out rather quickly and they don't have a response time to their firehouse. The second one is that he didn't know anything about the Oklahoma project because his rep didn't take it back. But his rep voted on it in the fire subcommittee that North Point and Oklahoma's projects be the top two projects that we need to move forward with the time constraint that we're under. So if that didn't get back to him, I apologize that your rep didn't tell you anything about it, but all the other members of that board, the 9-man board, the fire subcommittee, all voted for these projects to move forward as quick as we possibly can. So that's all.
Just rebuttal. They're not all paid in Allegheny County. There's over 272 fire companies in Allegheny County.
Chief Kelsey, do you have anything on this matter?
Yeah, just
Your
what
opinion?
the task force voted on, and I agree with Elliot and with Jason. That it's really risky to turn this money back. There's really only 3 shovel-ready projects that can really be considered for use of this money, and that's North Point, the project Oklahoma, and the project at Friendship, which was part of the first round of consolidation talks. So those are the 3 choices, and if the board doesn't want to invest in those at this time, then yeah, you're gonna run the risk of losing that money, and we will just stay as we are for now.
Okay, so there is an address for the one on Main Street.
Not for the 5, that wasn't discussed for the 5.
Okay,
No.
Not discussed it.
okay.
The 9.
So you don't know where the one on Main Street would go? Okay. Is Dock Street out of the question because of access? Or is
I would
that,
say it's out of the question, but has.
I mean, does it make sense?
Ingress and egress is definitely a concern down there.
Can it be widened in any way?
I don't know that answer.
I mean, is there, between the sidewalk and the curb, is there land or is it right there? I haven't been down there.
I'm not sure.
Okay. So I don't know. Scott, could that be widened?
We'd have to look at the maps to see.
Yeah,
where
because I don't know what
property lines
what
are.
our spot.
I mean, obviously, we're usually a little wider than what the road is,
Right,
but you want to be careful building in the floodplain.
right. Are you allowed to build up 3
Yeah,
feet?
you'd have to build it up quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just asking, because at one time I heard that's where it was going to go.
I mean, we have the land down there.
What's that?
We do have the land.
Yeah, we have a
down
lot
there.
of land. And I would hate to see tear down Friendship and build it there, because that's one of our more valuable, if we close that, that's one of our more valuable real estates to sell. Yes, yeah, if you merge. I mean, it's just, I'd hate to see that be just tore down, you know, and it's something new put there. I'd rather see it sold and use it somewhere else.
Pat, I want to take a crack at this motion.
Okay.
I would like to motion that we move forward as proposed by the fire task force with the 2 new fire stations, North Point and Oklahoma Station. And we have Ben include that match on the bond issue.
Motion made. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Properly moved and second. Discussion on the motion?
I got a question. Since Mark's the
Go right
president
ahead.
of Oklahoma Fire Company, is there any legalities there in making the motion?
You mean,
Yeah, maybe I,
There's not a technical conflict of interest, if that's what you're talking about, because he's a volunteer, he's not personally benefiting. It's not like he gets paid for doing any of that, so it's not a technical, you could recuse yourself if you wanted to from the vote, but there's no legal requirement that I'm aware of. Jessica, I would,
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you.
yeah. And by the way, just a quick clarification, the intent of voting on having the 2 million added to Sandy's is great. I appreciate that clarity. We will still need you to, like Sandy Township will still need to take action in a future meeting to actually effectuate that, but yeah. But in terms of giving us direction, that is helpful.
this is a very large decision. Any other, I'd like a comment from everybody on how they feel and what.
It's your opinion that doing a new fire building for the merged 5 is not feasible to be ready to put into this proposal to use this RACP money?
Yeah, we just don't have a location yet.
Going to have one by,
Yeah, I mean, the intent is to apply whenever RACP opens up, would be to apply for, and you don't have to have an exact address to apply for the next RACP.
Main Street corridor, is that good enough?
Yeah, sure, we could,
Yeah, I mean,
That's okay with you guys?
if you build the 2 new ones now, then once the RACP opens up again, everything moving forward will be designated towards moving those 5 to 1, once we acquire property and get everything else rolling with that. So that was the.
And that works with
the
RACP
discussion.
timing and everything?
yeah, RACP tends to open up after the state budget is passed. Obviously, we don't know when that will be.
Month ago. Anybody else have a comment? Sam, Jim?
I just,
Barry?
my comment is, being on a fire task force, it was, I thought the idea was good. And,
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the problem is, if you wait to build these things, they're just gonna go from price.
Right.
Like the sewer plant, it went
Yeah.
from 45
Right.
million to 99 or whatever, and, I just seem like we just keep pushing these,
Yeah, should have been done 2 years ago.
yeah, and I just like to see,
Yeah.
see, and there's a way to do it without, with
using the deck from the Sandy Township Municipal Authority, and I think that's what we need to do.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's a very big decision. If somebody has something to say it now.
Pat, I think one of the things that we need to follow is the recommendations of our fire task force. They're the experts. I mean, Bill's been on the fire, Mark's been on, but these guys, they were tasked to bring us recommendations, and I will, gladly follow their recommendations. They're the experts.
Okay.
That's what I expect from them.
Good. Good. Roll call vote on the motion.
Abbott.
Yes.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Beers.
No.
Dietz.
He dropped, sorry.
Not here.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Malika.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that clarity. We will start drafting up the project management proposals as a combined application for whatever addresses the task force tells us for North Point and Oklahoma. As for now revisiting the City Hall resurfacing, is it the will of the board to authorize me to sign a change order in order to do repaving? Should it be reasonable, or would you rather deal with that next year?
Ben, question.
Yep.
How much are we over on this build?
I don't actually know that, and I'm not sure anyone in the room really knows. Do you, Scott?
No.
I mean, I can tell you that the original budget was 5 million, and we're not there. But
Actually, I thought it was 4.5 when we voted.
I'm sorry, the $2.5 million grant has to be matched, dollar for dollar, and so you're not at 5 million. So, but the change orders that we've seen have not been. There's been a bunch of them, but they haven't been like hundreds of thousands or anything.
No. And we have a meeting tomorrow, so once we get that summary, I'll send it out to everyone.
But you said we'd have enough to resurface using the leftover RAC money.
Right, which does have to be matched,
Does
but
have to be matched.
but it won't be 20,000, but it also won't be hundreds of thousands.
So what ballpark figure?
I don't. Scott, do you even have a guess?
The problem is, the parking lot was in bad condition before we started. So with all the construction going on, the problem's gonna be, did they destroy the top of the blacktop, or did they destroy the whole blacktop all the way down? Do we just resurface, or are we restoring? That's where we'll come up with, if it's everything, and then, it's gonna be a little bit more, if we gotta put a deep base in, or can it just be milled and top?
And it's gonna have to be done sooner than later. This
It's
year
gonna
or
be
next.
done, period,
Yeah.
this
So we
year or
might as
next
well-
year.
So we might as well use the RAC P half at least, otherwise we'd be paying for all of it.
And I'll just say this, if you don't do it now, with the plow trucks going in there this winter, we're gonna tear it apart, and it's gonna be a serious safety concern, people parking and walking to the building. And same with the police department coming in out of the back and everything.
Not only that, will ruin the sub base if we don't
If it's not.
retop.
What are you requesting then? What's your request to pre-authorize you?
Yes, pre-authorize me to sign a change order for I was calling it resurfacing, but you're saying restoration?
Parking lot restoration.
Right. And again, if it came in at an unreasonable amount or it can't be done, then that's fine. We can kick it to the spring. And to your point, Pat, about the grant, we won't be able to close out this grant until months into the future, so I'm actually not worried about that. Like, it's more of a matter of, it needs to be done. Do you want to deal with it now if we can, or do you want to deal with it next year?
When do they
Don't know
quit
that
making
matters.
asphalt?
Well, they'll run up to almost Thanksgiving, but the problem is, on somebody's list, to be able to get it done this year will be another issue.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do this, we gotta get after it.
Right. Somebody has to have time.
Are we just talking about the upper side of the building?
Probably the upper side, down around the back. We'd have to evaluate it when we get there. I don't want to be involved in paving the project, and we only do half of it, and then next year, the rest of it's falling apart, and then we look like fools in front of
If
it.
you go around by the police department, it's pretty minimal, just needs tops.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get everything out of there and check it out and reevaluate it. We'll do that tomorrow.
This is a 10 committee vote?
I make a motion, please.
It would be.
Yeah, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to give our management team pre-authorization for the parking lot restoration.
I'll second that.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Abbott.
Yes.
Audubon.
Yes.
Spears.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Malika.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes. Get us some pavement.
I'll try to get you some payment.
Okay. And, you know, you've been jumping around. Where are we now?
GIS.
Okay. GIS mapping proposal, HRG.
That would be, Lisa, if you could kick that off, and if you want to turn it over to Mr. Garrigan, he's here.
One of the things I've seen communities do is embark on GIS project, and I think that the new city is no different. GIS will be a legacy project for this community where you can map all your streets, the fire areas, since we've been discussing fire departments, paving projects, and scheduling all your tax parcels, all the problem areas. They can really use it in codes and zoning. And so we are submitting a proposal to you from HRG for GIS. Jeff, would you like to speak to the board about the benefits?
Sure. For those of you that don't know, my name's Jeff Garrigan. I'm with HRG. I've had some discussions with Lisa and Scott regarding the GIS program, and they requested a proposal for us. I think it's, as Lisa just explained, a lot of the clients that I work with are moving to GIS, their own platforms, which allows them to, I'll basically call it asset management. There's a lot of things that the GIS mapping can do. You know, you've got a water system, you've got a wastewater system, you can include all those assets, meters, curb boxes, water lines, and all that stuff gets housed in your own GIS mapping. It's yours, you have access to it, you can add to it, and that's the benefit of that. So I think it's, a lot of communities are moving towards this. It's becoming something that I've seen where there's staff that are almost retiring, that have all the knowledge in their head, and you want to be able to get that knowledge in some mapping so that it's accessible to everybody. So if there's any questions relative to GIS, I'm more than willing to answer some questions or related to the proposal itself.
Is there an annual cost to update?
Not to update, there'll be an annual cost for Esri, which is the base, which is the software that you would purchase so that you can house the GIS mapping for yourself. I think it might have been noted in there.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
It's in the proposal.
Yes, it is. 400 a year.
Looks like around 700 a year for the Esri. Again, this is your own platform. It allows you access. It allows update of information from all your staff, whoever's identified that can update information.
Do you have anything?
I just wanted to add one quick comment, which is that we were actually kind of surprised you didn't already subscribe to this because they're a community of the size and complexity that you are. We've seen these GIS programs pay for themselves in the sense that they make, first of all, they help you find water leaks and that kind of thing. But in terms of grant administration alone, this makes applying, and proving and doing mapping and such so much faster and easier from speaking as a grant writer administrator. And so I think most likely you'll wonder how we would pay for this, and a little bit of it has to be a step of faith that it will pay for itself, because the reason we're bringing it to you is because it was not budgeted in this year's budget. So to some degree, we would need to be cobbling leftovers from various areas in order to pay for this, right, Lisa?
Correct. Terry and I talked about this today, and Sandy Township has 5,000 in their engineering funds right now that we don't think will get consumed, and the city has 10,000 in their engineering funds, which is the first phase of 15,000. And then the water fund and the sewer fund, they're both running over budget in some areas, but in other areas not. But this is something that will benefit across all the funds, from streets to water to sewer. We initiated this in the small community that I started off in municipal management. Everyone got iPads. We didn't have to worry about how many steps we were from the front, someone's front porch that wasn't there anymore. And so we were able to map all the curb boxes, all the line repairs, everyone's lateral lines, all the main lines, any repairs we made in it, and then also for code enforcement and I mean, we used it for our hometown banners and where they were placed along the streets. And so this is unending, and it can really be a really robust product for you going forward.
So this helps, let's say I'm an outside developer and I call the city and I say, hey, is there sewage available at different parts of the township and city now? It helps identify those so that someone who has no knowledge of that can just click on, or is this available to the public that they could look at this information?
I think this would be available to your staff or whoever you wanted to make it available to. I think there'll probably be parts that you could make available on the website or to others. They just won't have access to the site. You could, copy and paste, say, yeah, this is our zoning in this area if you're looking at it. So yeah, that's the purpose of that. It's, as Lisa said, I'm a water wastewater guy, so it's very useful for water lines, curb boxes. If you're going out to repair a curb box, as Lisa said, you have, even with your phones or an iPad, you can take pictures, you can date, and it all gets uploaded into that site. So the next person that goes to look for it can say, oh, we were here. Oh, this is what we did. Here's a picture of the, the repair. So it's just a building process. It's, data collection and input. But to answer your question specifically, yeah, that's helpful in identifying, yeah, we've got a sanitary line running past that proposed development.
How long does it take from start to finish to get everything uploaded?
It depends on what you mean by everything.
What they have.
A long time.
Yeah, I mean, there is.
That's a
gonna
lot
be
of info.
Some effort in, establishing the site is, I would say, relatively easy. But then when you start to build the information, that's where we'll work with Scott and Lisa gathering. You can put as-built record drawings on there, PDFs on there. So that's the part which becomes a little cumbersome, is adding all that data.
Is this a cloud-based system? Or
Yes, cloud-based. Yep.
This-
And you can provide security access. There can be different levels of access. You can grant somebody just viewing access. You can grant somebody, the ability to change or add data to it. So there's, that flexibility as well.
Did you say we could put as-built on there for,
Water line, sanitary.
what about construction?
What I've seen and what I've done is I'll use water line as an example. If there's a water line project that's completed and the record drawings are done and they're in PDF form, you can upload those PDFs right into the GIS, and then if you click on that, those PDF drawings you can access those PDF drawings of the record drawings for that water line. Okay. The other thing we've been doing as a company is if we're doing water line, let's say replacement, part of our contract is we ask the contractor to survey in the new water line, and then that gets uploaded as part of the GIS as well. Two different ways you can approach that.
Zach and Scott, you weighed in on this and talked to them?
It'd save a lot of time, and, cut the data collection, you wouldn't have to...
Get rid of all
look
those
for it.
cards?
Yeah.
How long would it take to scan all that stuff in? That's,
A lot of it's already in PDF format.
okay,
So I
just
think
needs
they
uploaded.
would have a pretty good jump start on
Okay.
getting that information in there.
Because I know it
just-
took the county years, an employee in years to do theirs. They had all the deeds.
Pat, I think one of the things that Lisa mentioned, and I think it's a very wise comment, is it's the legacy for the new city. It's not for us sitting at this table, it's
Oh,
for that future generation.
50 years from now.
And I really appreciate that comment, Lisa, about the legacy, and we are here to move to the future. And this sounds like the future's coming. So thank you. I can make that motion if you want.
Sure.
I'll make that motion to accept HDR proposal for the GIS mapping. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Abbott.
Yes.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Malaga.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes. Bid acceptance for the banking next tier proposal. Lisa?
As you know, we put out an RFP back in August for banking for the new city. We received 7 really beautiful proposals for banking, and we had a lot of discussions with our local banks. We did use a scoring matrix based on that RFP, and we had 5 people do the scoring, and we decided, well, the one that came out on top was Next Year. Their proposal was very robust. Just to speak to Mr. Lombardo's comments, we are not stuck with them as far as CDs go. Whenever we're ready for CDs, we can go out to the most competitive interest. We don't have to do everything with them. In fact, we may not always want to do that. But as far as holding our assets, our cash assets, they will be the preferred bank. So the Finance Committee and myself and Terry recommend that the board approve Next Year.
Motion on that?
I'll make the motion, Pat.
Thank you. Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Let's vote on the motion.
Abbott.
Yes.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Malaga.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Proposed roundabout at Division Street and Beaver Drive. Scott?
Yeah, we've been working with North Central and PennDOT on this project. This is actually something Sean Arbaugh started before he left and got the ball rolling on it. Recently, we just did a big teams meeting with North Central and PennDOT, and basically we're at the point where we actually need your commitment for the project, and they'll basically take care of pretty much all of it.
I mean, what's the cost of the city? Almost nothing.
Almost nothing,
Yeah,
if anything.
if anything, right? They said they want to put one in.
Yeah.
In fact, you'd be doing away with a light, so save money.
Yeah. There's no light there,
There's no
but
light.
people have talked about wanting to put a light there and different things.
Yeah, it's a 4-way stop.
What will happen to traffic while they're constructing the roundabout?
Just like any other project, it would be a nightmare till it's done, probably. Just being honest with you. I mean, I don't know where you've seen a project that was just great, but, yeah, I'm just telling you the way it is. When it's done, it'll be wonderful. Traffic will flow. I mean, you gotta consider the buses that leave the middle school, that go to the high school, they jam that thing the whole way back to the middle school. No fault to them, that's just what they have to do. This will give them a smooth path up there, keep the traffic moving. I think it'll work out better.
Is it gonna be like a detour through there?
I'm sure there'll be detours. They'll make sure everybody gets through there, especially because we got school traffic we have to deal with. We have medical services that respond that direction. Yeah, so there'll always be access coming in and out, especially going back to Tom Mix Drive section of it.
A timeline of completion for that, once they start to the end of the day, or talk about that?
No, because there's no sense doing all that studying until you guys give the permission to actually make it happen. And it wouldn't be done in the next couple of months. I'm sure it'll take a little bit to get to the point where you come to construction, and when it gets to construction, I wouldn't think that project would take that long.
there's a number of manufacturing plants in that area. Will the roundabout be able to accommodate large truck traffic and oversized loads that need to get in and out of some of those
Yeah,
plants?
oversized loads to a point, you know, you don't want a windmill coming through there or anything, just being honest with you. But everything that goes in there, even the double trucks out of UPS, there should be no issue at all. Because it's basically 2 lanes the whole way around, because you got your yield lane coming in, and you have your continuous circle. I'm not downplaying it, you know, it's just if you've never been in one, they run smooth after you've done it once or twice, you know.
Yeah, and it'd be great for when the factories do let out.
Yes.
What's nice about a roundabout is it's very flexible. If there's a lot of traffic coming this way, it moves fast. If a lot of traffic changes and it comes this way, it moves fast. As it is now, everybody has to stop.
Everybody's
And it's
watching.
a question of who goes first and how many
Sometimes
accidents,
we
how
can't
many
count
accidents have you
before
had there?
easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that.
yeah.
Some people don't stop at all.
Yeah, so the ones I've been in work very well, and they handle truck traffic very well because there's like a ramp, a donut in the middle, a ramp that helps the trucks get around.
I'll make the motion, we move forward.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Let's vote on the motion.
Abbott?
Yes.
Augenbaum?
Yes.
Spears?
Yes.
Gelfen?
Yes.
Malika?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Reesinger?
Yes. Agreement for laserfish?
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, Ben.
Before getting into the request here for Laserfish, I want to back up and tell you a little bit about the problem that we're trying to solve. With these two communities coming together, you have a lot of paper records and a lot of paper forms that are getting filled out and creating more paper records. One of the ways that we could create efficiencies in the new year would be to have a bunch of those forms be digital workflows. And so people could apply for permits and that sort of thing directly online, take payments online, not create more paper that are in boxes stuffed in fire halls and city buildings everywhere. Also, you know, make right to know requests easy, searchable, etc. There is a system that's, I mean, Laserfish is a national standard. I mean, every major government and healthcare system uses Laserfish, and it's been out of the price range of municipal governments to afford forever. They've kind of recently, within the last couple of years, come out with a new municipal site license, which is very affordable to maintain. We're talking like $1,200. To put it in contrast, the county government would pay $60,000, $80,000 a year to record all that stuff. You now have access to a municipal site license very affordably. And so one of the things we identified early on as a potential need would be to implement Laserfish here so that in the new city we can build those workflows and stop adding to the pile. The other thing is we can scan a lot of those existing documents that need to be retained in perpetuity directly into the system and then get rid of the paper. So again, we don't have to be storing all this stuff everywhere. It also has built-in record destruction, so we don't have to things that we don't have to maintain indefinitely can be automatically destroyed, deleted, that is. So ultimately, I think that this will save a lot of frustration from the public because they'll be able to access things instantly or much quicker. We won't be swimming in paper. You won't have to retain as much stuff. It'll cut down on costs related to paper generation and that kind of thing. It's not a budgeted item, so I believe, Lisa, our hope would be that Sandy Township would buy this on behalf of the new city.
Great idea. So
that we could start building it out now and really hit the ground running in the new year. You'll see that this proposal includes, I mean, the bulk of the proposal is having the International Code Council Community Development Services division help build out those workflows and such now, again, so that we can hit the new year not generating paper and providing an even better service. So we had, by the way, tried to put this into the STAMP grant, and it is eligible, but we missed the deadline. So for the next STAMP phase, we just ended up going after the proposals for the zoning map and code consolidation, which is going to save significant money off of what you would have been spending. So to some degree, I think we're asking that that be reallocated, that you would have been spending that money on the code consolidation. So instead, would you please reallocate some of that money towards buying this Laserfiche license and having their staff help us implement it over the coming months?
Total cost?
I believe it was under 20,000, but let me take a look.
Sandy Township will. 19.
Can you put that in your motion?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, 19,265, and that would be a max, by the way. We wouldn't necessarily use all of that.
I make a motion that we get the agreement for Laserfiche as per the recommendation from our management team. And Sandy Township looks like they're gonna foot the bill some. Thank you, Du Bois.
Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome.
I will second that motion.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Let's vote on the motion.
Abbott.
Yes.
Audubon.
Yes.
Spears.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Malika.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes, thank you. New business to city, Act 537, Resolution 2025-0423. Ken?
So Act 537 requires that municipalities adopt an official sewage facility plan and then revise said plan whenever it is necessary to meet sewage disposal needs. The fact that the consolidation is happening means that we have to revise the plan. Again, that's why earlier I mentioned that Washington Township and Falls Creek Borough had passed resolutions. Now we're asking the city to pass a similar resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-0423.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Audubon.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes. RDA Board appointment. Letter recommendation for Ed Nelson for RDA Board.
Mr. Nelson, I had the pleasure of meeting at the last Redevelopment Authority Board. They voted at that meeting to request that you fill a vacant seat due to the resignation of Jessica Runyon.
Motion to approve. Second.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion?
Do they take applications from the public, or do they just put forward the recommendation?
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know that either. Is anybody here? I don't see anybody from redevelopment.
How did it work in the past, Pat?
I read about our new board member in the paper. They were, the indicted city manager appointed him. So we had no voice at all. So at least they have a voice on who they have on. So I don't think there's a procedure in place,
Okay, thanks.
which there should be. You get a second?
Yeah, I thought there was one second.
Okay, properly moving second. All in, vote on the motion?
Audubon.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes. Authorization to advertise ordinance for individual on-street handicap parking. Zach, you want to discuss that with us?
Yeah, so typically in the past, we have residents request on-street parking for handicap, some changes in their life, they need handicap parking closer to the resident, they don't have off-street parking. As the chief and manager and team has been getting requests, so Chief Gergelli was kind enough to do some research and found out that the police department's interested in handling all these instead of how we typically did it. Come up with a real nice ordinance, some forms to be able to process it, and presented it to Planning Commission yesterday. Planning Commission reviewed it, didn't have any comments. They asked a few questions, but recommended approval moving forward with how the on-street handicap parking spaces are assigned and handled.
Right now, this is a city only?
Correct, this would be an
Okay,
authorization to advertise, and then we would bring this to a future board for vote, but it would be in the current city with the understanding that
It
it
would
would
transfer.
over to the new
Okay.
city as well.
So the cities be voting on it, okay.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Gelfen.
Yes.
Reesinger.
Yes. Draft ordinance for on-street handicap parking. Lisa?
No, it's the actuarial assumption is what she was going to talk about. Or do you want me to talk about
You
that?
talked about
I was
that.
going to say, we just did that.
Yeah.
Actuary assumptions from 8 to 7.5.
Yeah, so the pension's current actuarial assumption is 8%. I can't think of a community that we've worked with in the last decade that had an 8% actuarial assumption. Unsurprisingly, the actuary sent a letter recommending that we drop that to 7.5%, just so everyone understands what that means. Right now, we're assuming that the market will produce an 8% return on the pension fund, which is kind of high risk. I believe they actually have been hitting it lately, but that's mostly just because the last couple of years had good years, but that's overall, that's not the trend.
No, because there was a few, the one before this was a really bad 2 years.
Yeah. So again, the actuary's recommendation is to drop that by a motion of city council from 8 to 7.5%.
And that's for all they would go. It should be 6 3/4. 7 6 3/4.
Look, the budget can't take that much of a hit.
Yeah, and the reason it's done at 8% is it makes your minimum municipality obligation lower because you're assuming, when they do the actuary report, they're figuring 8%. Well, you don't get 8%, okay? Because governments can't invest like you and I do. They have a lot in bonds that are lower, but it's safe, so you don't get that. So over the years, this should be dropped again to 7 or 6 3/4. Would you agree?
I can't actually give pension advice like that. I can only rely on the actuary.
Oh, the actuary. This isn't your advice. This is the actuary's advice.
I mean, I feel pretty comfortable saying, yes, you should at least drop it to 7.5%.
I'll let you go that far. Okay.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Gelfen. Reesinger.
Absolutely, yes. 2 years ago, yes. And that actuary report is connected to our report, that we can go in and see that. Is correct? Is that what that means?
Yeah, so the little lock symbol here on the agenda, for whatever reason, I don't actually know, but the letter that we received said that it was personal and confidential. If someone wanted to challenge that, I'd imagine they could file a right-to-know request, and we could see if it really did have to be. But just because it said confidential, I went ahead and locked it. That means the elected officials can read it. The public cannot at this time.
Okay, all righty. Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you. New business in the township.
Supervisors, we need to approve the same resolution that Du Bois City did for our Act 537.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Subdivision Lot 21 at Treasure Lake. We're missing a section there, but Zach,
We are missing a section. Uh-oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we held a public hearing prior to this meeting. No comments were received. Planning Commission recommended approval August 19th. That is Section 2, Lot 19, 20, 21. They're subdividing Lot 21 off. They were previously combined, all three. Now they've got to make some changes on the property, but they don't want that third lot. So It's in your hands.
So I need a motion to approve the Spencer subdivision.
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Permission to advertise the PRD subdivision. Anything on that, Zach?
So we got another one, lot, I didn't put the section in there.
32, lot 33, yeah,
Yeah, it's
32.
Miramar Road.
Okay.
Another minor little subdivision out in Treasure Lake, but I need to advertise for a public hearing, same as we did tonight, since it is a planned residential development area, and take comments before your approval, so just need your blessing to send out the advertisement.
Looking for a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back to you, Pat.
We're going to move on to closing. We're going to go on to public comment. Dave Lombardo, you're up first.
I just wanted to follow up, Ben, with the work session. At that time, I had asked about the budget, and you have to, by law, to have it all done before the new joint council, or the new council, city council will be in force. You are gonna check with the legal folks, what ramifications does the new city council, can they vote no to the budget and then redo it, and what ramifications that would do? Did you have a chance to talk with legal?
We did pass it off to legal for a memo, but I don't have that memo yet.
Okay. The second thing I was going to
Go
bring
right
up, you were talking about Treasure Lake and that, and I remember when I was on the board, previous
you mean-
3 years.
You mean fire service there?
No, at Treasure Lake on the board of directors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I talked to Jason or not. They came in and they did a presentation, and I thought we pretty much, I was more adamant and open about talking about it. I didn't see a problem with 255 in that area. The only thing I was recommending is somehow get PennDOT or something to have a light there so that they could click a switch and get those apparatus out of there, because people don't pay attention and they go by pretty fast. But I thought I asked somebody, and somebody called me back, and I said, how much more time would it take? And it was minuscule. Was that you? Might have been someone at Treasure Lake. But I do remember asking the question that you were, would it affect, our fire rating and everything else? And they did come back and said it was minuscule. They had a concern, they were having a concern with the gate, that the people had to go to the fire station, they had to go through the visitor section, they were supposed to open it all up. I was just at the fire hall.
You think they would just lift the gates and let everybody
They were
through?
supposed to. The people weren't doing it.
Yeah,
They weren't
for sure.
doing it, but the last I heard, when I was at the fire hall last week talking with those folks, is that's not an issue anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think most of the members, if not, I know all of the chiefs, there's a sticker that goes on your windshield now that automatically opens the gate.
They got that,
And
okay.
I have that on the chief's vehicle as well, so you just roll right up and roll right through.
Okay.
So it's not an issue, but if they know and hear sirens coming, they usually open the gates and leave them open for a
Okay.
period of time.
But my understanding, when this was all starting to roll several years ago, they did come back. They came to a couple board meetings, and Treasure Lake, there was no negative that I remember.
I wasn't part of that, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Herm, I think, came with a couple of people, and they gave a big presentation and stuff. So it was during that tenure. So I didn't see a problem, and, and what they recommend. But you guys said to move forward with it, and I think it's a good move. And the Route 255, that's where you're recommending it, right? Is off that, that city-owned property in the back right off 255, I think that's probably the best place to put it.
Yeah, there's a.
But somebody did do the study for me. I don't know how they did it, if they drove their own vehicle or what, but they came back and said it's just about the same, it's minuscule time. So I wanted to pass that on to you.
Okay, thank you. Ed Androlonis?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ed Androlonis. I'm a Du Bois resident of Green Glen Drive, also a member of the Du Bois Planning Commission. And when you talk too much, you get volunteered as spokesperson. So that's why I'm here this evening. I want to talk about the skill game fees ordinance, specifically for nonprofit social clubs tonight. Nonprofit organizations and social clubs are the heart of our communities. They sponsor youth sports, support veterans, raise funds for families in crisis, and donate hundreds of thousands of dollars each year to causes that make our neighborhoods stronger. These groups do not exist to turn a profit. They exist to give back. Yet when it comes to skill games and charitable giving, nonprofits are often treated the same as commercial businesses. The fees and regulations they face can be burdensome, in many cases unfair. The recent ordinance for video skill games imposing a fee of $1,000 per machine or $5,000 annually for a nonprofit club is a very significant increase. Why this matters. Every dollar taken in excess fees is a dollar taken away from sponsoring Little League teams and youth programs, donating to local fire companies and first responders, helping families pay medical bills or recover from disasters, supporting veterans, seniors, and community service projects. Skill games have become an important fundraising tool, but unlike for-profit businesses, nonprofits already carry heavy responsibilities. Under their small games of chance, which they are regulated, they must follow state gaming laws, comply with the IRS, reporting rules, and keep gaming a small part of their mission. They are not casinos, they are lifelines for our communities. The current legal status in Pennsylvania is gray. Pennsylvania appellate courts have ruled that the games of skill are not slot machines under the Gaming Act. The Supreme Court is currently reviewing the issue, as we all know. The legislators considering several bills to regulate the tax skill games, including ranging from a base tax of 15 to 40% to a flat fees. As of now, there's no uniform statewide policy in place, and there's discussion of possibly in July of 2026. We realize that there is a reason and a need to generate fees as a source of revenue to offset enforcement costs. Approximately 95 machines, is my understanding, at $1,000 would generate $95,000 in revenue. Keep that number in mind. Also, fees help regulate and oversight and discourages illegal operations, loitering, and criminal activity. It also creates consistency with other forms of regulated gaming. However, alternatively, high flat fees disproportionately burden nonprofit clubs. The risk of litigation to the absence of no state law. A patchwork of municipal fees creates confusion and compliance challenges, and it drains funds that should be going back into our community. For example, in the 6 social clubs in our area, they, in an annual basis, have donated between $300,000 and $400,000 to our community. And I'd like to just name a couple of those, and keep in mind, they are required up to a certain extent, but in many cases, this is above and beyond what they're required to donate back to our communities. Okay, and I think just in general, I can name things, but I think this would be more relation to people that have affiliations or are on boards who have served or have benefited from the Haven House, All About Grace, Children Miracle Network, Make-A-Wish, Relay for Life, Wreaths Across America, the Du Bois Boys and Girl Scouts, Du Bois Food Bank, Penn Highlands NICU, Free Medical Clinic, Paint and Play, Clearfield County Conservation, Camp Cadet, Clearfield County Handicapped Citizens, Rights Theater, Special Olympics, Du Bois Little League, Clearfield Jefferson Suicide Prevention, American Legion Homeless Vets, Toys for Tots, Breast Cancer Awareness, Clearfield SPCA, and Gateway for Humanity are just a few. The Planning Commission has made some recommended alternatives, and some are already in place or in the process. We recommend to balance the community benefit with responsible regulation. Municipalities could consider modest annual licensing fees per machine, ranging from $200 to $500 to cover enforcement costs with overburdening operators. Caps on the number of machines per location to prevent clustering. Zoning and operational safeguards, adult-only areas, surveillance, registration stickers, etc. And a T fee structure. And from my research, I believe it's possible to have a separate fee structure for profit and nonprofit organizations for skill games. Tiered or reduced rates for nonprofits and veterans organizations are common practice in the state of Pennsylvania. And if our council disagrees, we would like to see the legal basis for that. Bottom line, Pennsylvania is still in a legal gray zone on skill games. Municipalities may regulate and license machines, but setting excessive one-size-fits-all fees risk crippling nonprofit social clubs. When nonprofits thrive, our communities thrive. By keeping nonprofit fees reasonable and fair, we allow social clubs to continue pouring hundreds of thousands of dollars back into our neighborhood funds that support children, families, first responders, and veterans. We respectfully ask council to consider the proposed ordinance or revert to the previous fees until the state of Pennsylvania enforces policy, hopefully in 2026. Let's keep community dollars in the community by lowering the burden of fees on nonprofit skill games. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
I can respond to that. Hi, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the comment. My name is Jessica Tully. I'm an attorney at the solicitor's law firm. And I really appreciate what you were saying, and I completely understand where you're coming from. We did research this, and we believe that we are not able to charge a different fee for a nonprofit. Although I know that you said that you had some research, so I'd be happy to talk to you after this meeting, and I would love to give my email address so that we could stay in touch, because I'd be happy to review anything that you did find. It was at least our determination, which is what we recommended to council, that we didn't believe that we were able to set a different fee structure. But I'd be happy to review and take this to Mr. Breath, anything that you do submit. So make sure you find me after the meeting. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. After the meeting, I'd be happy to talk to you. Yeah, no problem.
Board member comments. Bill?
Sir?
Yeah.
Got a few things. Where are we at on looking for a new manager? Have we started the process at all?
Last I knew, we were not beginning that process until the election.
We talked, it was gonna be like September, during September.
I don't believe the joint board made that decision. If the joint board would like us to create a posting and open the job for manager that early, we could, but I believe it's at least the advice of us that, first of all, you not try to incorporate another person into the leadership role until after the consolidation has actually been effectuated. And second of all, that you're going to have a hard time getting anybody until they know what board they're going to be working with. It's almost kind of, at this point, why would a lame duck group pick the future board when the future board is going to be elected here in, what, a matter of
Weeks.
Yeah, weeks.
But the thing is, you know, we're gonna be paying more because we're gonna have to keep you on and a new manager going into the new year. So we're gonna be paying out a lot more. And it's gonna take a while to find a manager. So why not get the ball rolling? It's not gonna happen overnight. We understand that.
Yeah.
You're almost into October right now.
I believe we already talked about them carrying over into the new year anyways. because there's gonna be a transitional period.
That was discussed, but it wasn't voted on.
I think
But I'm just saying, we need to start looking at that moving forward. Also, is there any resolution, I know a couple months ago, you were showing under the Du Bois budget, it was negative 1.4, 1.3. Is there, I know you guys were working on it, Lisa, to get it corrected.
Sorry, I just had a mint. Swallowed the whole thing. We have been working diligently watching cash so that we haven't had to make any transfers from other funds. And so we're just really watching cash every time we do a check run and where we're at. And right now we're staying steady. We don't have a ton of money, but we're you know, moving forward. And we have made some of the reason that we felt like we were really short is we weren't doing transfers in the moment, meaning the general fund was paying out checks and we weren't always transferring for the other funds to cover that. So it was feeling a little heavy, but now that we've rectified that, we're in a little bit better cash position. Don't get me wrong, we're watching it every month, every check run. We're watching all the revenues, so, but right now, we're hanging in there.
Moving. Also too, I'd like to see the budget going forward, the YMCA program. We always had up at the Spider Lake. I know it was under correspondence. We did very well again this year. If you read his letter, and I think it's great for the kids, for our area, to keep it moving forward into the new city up at that park. Also, I'd like to see, I know we talked a little bit about the taxes last week there. I'm kind of concerned. I want to see that we go on a solid footing moving forward into our new city. I feel that we need to look at cutting some things to make sure it's solid and not putting a Band-Aid on our budget at this time where we're going to have to raise more millage down the road. That's not fair to this new community. It's not fair to our elderly community, and we have a lot of that. And we have to look at that moving forward of raising our rates. And it's just not the tax. We've got to look at the garbage. We haven't talked about that yet, the new contract. We got to get the city residents up, or the township residents up for the water and that yet, water and sewage, to make it equal. And there's a lot of moving parts that I'd like to see our budget sound. And I'd like to see a 10% across the board in each department reduction and see what that budget looks like moving forward. That way we have a solid footing. I mean, I keep hearing, this was a marriage put together. Yeah, it was, but now that we see it, it should have been a prenup.
Should be a prenup.
So I'm asking our management team to look into this to see what we can do to save and to move forward, have a strong community, not worrying about, well, next year we've got to raise taxes. The new board has to raise taxes again. That wasn't the premises of us going together. It was going together to get financially sound on a sure footing and to save our taxpayers in the long run. That's all I have.
Thanks, Bill. Sam?
Yeah, I think it's real hard, I'm just gonna go on with what Bill was saying. I think it's real hard to try to cut things right now when you don't know what's gonna be happening next year. And I'm anticipating that there will be savings when we do consolidate. There will be savings down the road, because I know when the last successful one that was done in New Jersey, they've saved probably $12–15 million between that amount of money in the last 10 years, just from having services not being duplicated. And I know just eliminating one board saves quite a bit of money. for that to happen. I think it's just hard to decide right now that we want to cut things. And it's just the way I think you just have to wait till the start of next year and go forward.
I believe there was already a reduction in staffing, correct? Part of the pro staffing, from what it was when we started, there's a reduced number there as well already.
And I would like to get a new manager right away, but, I mean, now, but like Ben said, who in their right mind wants to
Would
come
apply.
in now when someone else might say, well, you know, other people get elected and they say, well, we don't want you. Well, I'd rather leave that to the new council. That's it.
Barry?
First of all, Lisa, you didn't give us a consolidation countdown. How many days?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
Not enough.
I can't count right now. There's not enough days.
Faster and faster.
Is it 110? Yeah.
It's worth your while. The people are sitting here, the people are listening, to go to Sandy Township War Room, for the lack of a better term, and look at what Lisa and Ben have laid out for our new city. They have, well, it used to have yellow paper, now it's white. And they have all this laid out, all the steps that need to occur for our new city to be successful. And I couldn't be more happy with Ben and Lisa and the Catherine Group for their work ethic and what they've brought to our community. They have just joined in, and they met everybody. It's not a bed of roses. It's not easy. I mean, Bill has ideas. Everybody at this table has ideas. But we have to rely on our management team. And that's why we hired Ben and Lisa. Ben and Lisa, I applaud you for what you're doing. My next thing that I'm going to bring up is, I agree with Ed Lotus. And the reason I do that, I've been known to hang out at a couple of social clubs. And the reason I do that is exactly what Ed said, for their contributions to our people in our community. As a personal note, I know for a fact every one of those social groups donated to my pet project, which was the Veterans Memorial in City Park. It's an awesome memorial. The Sons of the American Legion, post 17, developed it, put it together, and without their help, without their money, I don't know where we'd be. You know, so Ed, I do agree with you, and thank you very much. I think I'm done.
Jim?
I'm good.
Okay. Elliot?
We always hope so, because it's supposed to be nice, hope to see everybody out for the parade, and it should be a great game. It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful night again, so let's get out there and cheer on our leaders.
I think that I would like to hold off on looking for new management team as well until we have seated a new council. It seems to make more sense to me that the new elected officials would hire that person or that team. And Ed, I would like to thank you for your presentation, but until legal counsel tells us we can do otherwise, our hands are tied.
I used to have a boss that said, we hire attorneys to tell us how, not why we can't.
I wish it was that way, Ed. Hey, your comment section's over. Come on. I'd like to talk about, I did go to, I think it was last Thursday, I went to the preliminary hearing for the indicted city manager. I found it to be very revealing. I like how, personally, I like how things are moving. The judge is going to vote on whether they get a list of particulars or not, and set a trial date. The trial date should be set sometime, they all kind of agreed on springtime of '26. So at least we have a date, you know, a time period that this trial should start and be over. They think the trial is going to be anywhere between 4 and 16 weeks. Okay, so it's a pretty long one. It's going to be hard for somebody to go every day. So we'll put a team together to go down and pay attention down there. But it was very nice. Hey, I want to go in on this new city manager. Personally, I think whoever's the new city council in the new year, they should pick who they want as their city manager. Okay, I think that's very important. Since it doesn't cost any money, we can add this to the agenda as a motion today. Okay, I'd like to see a motion where we set a time where the city managers can advertise for a new city manager, knowing that we want it to, you know, be ready to go the very first of the year. Okay, so they could. I would recommend of course, I'll need a motion. Recommend the position, like, you know, maybe they post it in November, okay? Or maybe December or even January, okay? So if somebody wants to, you know, if we want to discuss that right now, let's get a motion, let's put this to bed and be done with this part of what needs to be done for the new city, okay? Does anybody have any feelings? I know what, you know, you want.
Yeah, I'd like to see the new council seated.
Yeah. Yeah. So does anybody want to make a motion when you think we should post that?
I don't. I'd rather wait for the new city council. I think that's their responsibility. I think they need to bear the weight. They need to take into consideration all the discussions I've just heard here tonight. But if we, the 10 members, do that and we take on that project, I think we're just going to shoot that new council right in the foot.
Oh, I'm not asking for hire somebody. I'm just asking to post a position so they can be interviewed early in January by the new city council.
Ben, I have a question for you. As far as the city manager position, I know, yeah. Can the township, I mean not the township, I know some of the townships can hire firms, like we hired you.
Yeah.
Can we still do that for the city? Have
Yes.
a firm that's the city manager?
Yes, there was a law change maybe 2 years ago that allowed for Pennsylvania municipalities to hire firms to manage, much like you hire a specific firm to be your solicitor. Someone may be named as the solicitor, but the whole firm has been hired. Similarly, you can now hire management firms. You know, we would bear the title, for instance, of city manager. It's actually less clear in second-class townships, but it is clearly allowed in cities, first-class townships, and boroughs.
And I'm not endorsing that. I'm just,
Sure,
I
yeah,
wanted
just
to
as a matter of clarification, yeah.
Because I'd like to get when the new council does that, they'll have choices,
They will.
whatever they like to do.
My suggestion is, if you wait till January to do your advertising, you're not going to have a city manager till March or April. You know, I mean, it takes a while. This would just allow posting of the things and get resumes. So January, second week of January, they have the new council can start interviewing people. You know, and it's just going to speed it up. That's all.
Yeah.
It'd be less expensive.
But it
we
wouldn't.
wouldn't need you as long.
Would it be a bad thing to have the current management team bringing the city into the new first or even second quarter?
They have to be, I think they have to be in the first quarter at least.
Okay.
My thing was, I assumed that Lisa and Ben would be the ones that would be doing the search.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so is there any really reason that we have to do anything?
I don't think so, Sam. I agree with what you're saying.
I mean, I think that you need to drive a decision so that this conversation is put to bed. You know, because I've heard everything from it should have happened to June to it needs to happen in November. I think we would like some clarity on, do you want us to post the job in October, November, December, or leave it completely to the new board. And I think we're agnostic to what your decision is. We don't, I do think you want to keep us around at least through that first reorganizational meeting without question, just because we're already building it and are intimately involved with the complexity of it. But beyond that, you know, it's completely up to you. But I would like a decision because I'm, you know, frankly, it just keeps coming up as a perennial problem.
And everybody on the board has an opinion to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion, we start gathering information October, November, get it going. We can't wait. I mean, we're just kicking a can down the road. I'll make the motion. Or I'll get a second, but I'll make it.
Good second? Motion dies, a lack of no second.
I'll make a motion that we leave this up to the newly elected council.
Properly moved and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Hold on, I have a question.
Go
Does that
ahead.
mean that we can't, if we decide we want to put an advertisement out, then before January 6th, we can't?
That's not what that motion says.
Well, the motion says we leave it up to the new council, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, when do we, let's, I mean, I think all of us want to leave it up to the new council to hire the new person, but when do you want to post it? That's what we're really asking.
So the new council will be decided after
The new council will be decided.
My
after
motion
the-
is for the newly seated council in January.
To do what? Post it, or?
To start the hunt for a new management team.
Okay.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any other questions on the motion? Vote on the motion.
Abbott,
Yes.
Augenbaum.
Yes.
Beers.
No.
Gelfand,
No.
Malika,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Reesinger,
No.
vote 3.
Okay. It's settled. That's what we wanted. It's settled. That's fine.
4-3.
4-3. Yeah, that's not a good settle, is it? Not what you like to see.
accept that.
Well,
What's the final? You're gonna wait?
4, that we're going to wait until the new board. We're not even going to look until the new board is seated. Yeah, I mean, that throws things down there. I have no other comments. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.